I am a musician with punk rock roots, but I fell ill and got ensnared in the web of Western medicine. By sharing my story, I hope to inspire you to take control of the choices that create health and live your most full, fit lives. My story starts way back in the year 2000. I was living my dream. I was gigging, touring. In between tours, I worked as a bicycle messenger in downtown Philadelphia. I'd be racing up those hills, loving it. I thought I was in fantastic physical shape. Well, I woke up one morning and I was sick, but in an unfamiliar way. It was like gravity had been turned up to the extreme that it was even hard to breathe. After being hospitalized for several days, I was given a diagnosis of autoimmune hemolytic anemia. And at that point, I had no idea what any of that meant or that it would change my life forever. I was told that autoimmune conditions occur when the body's own immune system attacks its healthy cells and tissues, thinking they're foreign invaders. With hemolytic anemia, the red blood cells are destroyed. They're responsible for carrying oxygen to the body. So the result is this debilitating fatigue that I was experiencing. Well, I did what I think most people would do, and I trusted the experts. And I endured surgeries, so many high-powered pharmaceuticals that I lost track, and multiple rounds of chemotherapy. This used to be a full head of hair. But none of that had any lasting benefit. It all came with nasty side effects. For years, I limped along in this cycle. Doctor would suggest a drug. I would try it with marginal results. I'd have a relapse. I'd be hospitalized. The doctor would say, let's try this drug. On and on. I limped for years. And it came to a head in 2007 while I was on tour. I got sick in a way that was new, scary, and unfamiliar. I'd grown accustomed to what the autoimmune hemolytic anemia was like, and this was different. So, band dropped me off at the hospital, and that's when I learned all three components of my blood were now being destroyed by my immune system. So it's the red cells, the white cells, and the platelets. They call this very rare condition Evans syndrome. It affects about 5,000 people in the United States. Personally, I'm more of a visual person, so if you look at that circle pie chart, it's 100%. 1%, I think we can all imagine, that's like the tiniest sliver. Well, the people with autoimmune Evans syndrome, that's 0.001%. Personally, I can't even picture a slice of pie that small. This rare condition, I was told, comes with a life expectancy of about 7 short years. And that hit. And I experienced what is known as the dark night of the soul. And I felt despair and depression. But the shock eventually faded, and the depression, it turned into an anger that grew until I remembered, wait a second. I'm a punk and I don't care what the experts say. I have a strong DIY ethic and I know I can figure this out on my own. I have an affinity for counterculture and there are alternative therapies out there, I'm sure. I took ownership of my health and began to do research and experimentation. I tried juicing, vegetarianism, the ketogenic diet, Ayurvedic medicine, the Gerson therapy, Chinese herbal medicine, and acupuncture. Eventually, I discovered the field of functional medicine, where doctors that have been frustrated and stuck having a pill for every ill system that they work within started to ask, what are causing these ills in the first place? They take each patient as an N of 1 experiment and do a deep dive into their lifestyle choices and their history to uncover what is at the root of their disease. It's things like nutrient deficiencies, exposures to molds or toxins, too little sleep, too much stress. Often it's a combination of these things. Functional medicine has had results unparalleled by the traditional counterpart. And by embracing those parameters, I've been able to get off of all medicine, and I'm healthier now than I've been in years. But I know I'm not alone in this. Everybody seems to have a friend, a loved one, a coworker that's suffering with a debilitating disease. I learned that the fact is, over 60% of the citizens of the United States are now diagnosed with a chronic condition and are on medication for it. That's crazy. Over half of our country is seriously sick. So that means today, if you're healthy, you're an outlier, you're a rebel, you're a punk. And it takes that punk attitude to make the difficult counterculture choices that create health. So by sharing my story, I hope to inspire others to own those choices and cultivate and maintain their health. And for those that have already fallen sick and are suffering with pain and disease, I want to give you hope that there's a way to take back your health, get off the pharmaceutical Ferris wheel, and live a vibrant life. Thank you.